A pleasant day to everyone. I am Jolly Grace R. Castro. So for today, I am going to discuss what is deductive and inductive method of teaching. Also, I am going to differentiate and give some advantages and disadvantages of the deductive and inductive method. So first, we have a quote. According to Joyce Meyer, teacher can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. So what is deductive method? The teacher tells or shows directly what he or she wants to teach. This is also referred to as direct instruction. The deductive method begins with generalization and subsequently all examples and a specific situation to be given or supportive of this generalization. In deductive method, it is more on teacher-centered. This is a method that only teachers are speaking and students are listening. So for example, teacher teach everything and give some handouts to students. Also, students need to give an examples according to teacher's example. Next, we have the advantages of deductive method. Number 1, straight to the point. Timing saving and many rules can be quickly explained, allowing more time to practice. Next is, it respects the intelligence and maturity of many students. Lastly, it confirms many students' expectation about classroom learning. Also, we have here the disadvantages of deductive method. Number 1, they may not have sufficient meta language or may not be able to understand the concepts involved. Number 2, explanation is seldom as memorable as the other forms of presentation. Number 3, grammar explanation encourage a teacher-prompted transmission style classroom. Next is the inductive method. Instruction makes use of students noticing. Instead of explaining a given concept and following this explanation with examples, the teacher presents students with many examples showing how the concept is used. The intent is for students to notice, by the way of examples, how the concept works. Inductive method is more on student-centered. Students need to learn new things and gain knowledge by themselves. So for example, give the students a sample of a poem with shape. Don't tell the students what are we going to learn at the start. Students will read the poem and find shapes. Teachers focus students' comment towards the shape. Use concrete objects around the classroom as a sample help them to recognize the shapes. So these are the advantages of inductive method. Number 1, rule learner that discover themselves are more meaningful and memorable. Number 2, students are more likely involved in learning process. Number 3, students will have greater self-reliance and autonomy. Next is the disadvantage of inductive method. First, students may hypothesize the wrong rules. Second, it can be place heavy demands on teachers in planning a lesson. Lastly, time and energy spent working out rules may mislead students into believing that rules are objective of language learning. So we have here some questions. How can a teacher decide which method is the best choice for a given topic? First, how personalized should the learning be? Students will usually be more involved in learning experience and tend to participate more actively when an inductive method or approach is used. If a deductive approach is chosen, it is important to structure the learning experience in order to draw on students' prior experience and learning, and to provide for their active involvement. Next, should learning experience be predictable? The deductive approach is more predictable because the teacher selects the information and sequence of presentation. Third, what depth of understanding and rate of retention is desired? Students tend to understand and remember more when learning occurs inductively. The last question is, how much time is available to teach the material? The deductive approach is faster and can be an efficient way to teach large numbers of facts and concrete concepts. Next, we have here the differences between deductive and inductive method. Deductive versus inductive. Deductive method is it does not give any new knowledge, while in the inductive method, it gives new knowledge. In the deductive method, it is a method of verification, while in the inductive method, it is a method of discovery. Third, the deductive method, it is a method of instruction, while the inductive method is a method of teaching. The deductive method, child gets ready-made information and make use of it, while in the inductive method, child requires hand knowledge and information by actual observation. The deductive method is a quick process, while the inductive method is a slow process. The deductive method encourages dependence on other sources, while in the inductive method, it trains the mind and gives self-confidence and initiative. In the deductive method, there is less scope of activity in it, while in the inductive method, it is full on activity. In the deductive method, it is a downward process of thought and leads the useful result, while in the inductive method, it is an upward process of thought and leads to principle. To briefly explain what is deductive and inductive method of teaching. The deductive method is general to a specific, while the inductive method is specific to general. In conclusion, we can conclude that inductive method is the forerunner of deductive method. The deductive approach can offer a good follow-up if the subject is understood by induction. The teaching must therefore start with induction and end with deduction. Thank you for listening.